everyone, welcome to another episode of Animation Pilgrimage. We are back doing Disney today because we tried to find The Crab with Golden Claws, and I had looked it up beforehand, and I had found a link online, and it said it had subtitles, and so I clicked and I checked, and lo and behold, it had subtitles. Sean and I got to sit down and start watching it today, and the subtitles stopped after about 2 to 3 minutes into the movie, and never continued, so we had to stop.
Yeah, and this is kind of disappointing because it turns out that the Crab with the Golden Claws was a Tintin story, which is a Belgian comic that I've experienced all of nothing about it, but I've heard good things.
Yeah,
so
same.
I was excited to see something, and it was also stop motion.
Yeah, it would have been our first stop motion film. It would have been our first Tintin film, because I'm sure we're going to see, well, I know we're going to see more Tintin in the future, because there was a movie released not too long ago. But I was excited, because like you, I've never experienced anything of Tintin, and yet here we are watching Fun and Fancy Free.
Because that's the movie that comes next, and we could easily find that one.
Well, we own that.
Exactly. We could easily find it on our own shelves.
On our bookshelf. So,
Here we go. Another Disney package film. They never end.
2 more, honey.
2 more?
2 more.
I don't know if I can do 2 more. Needless to say, I didn't like this one.
I don't know if anyone likes this one. I think this is pretty universally considered one of the worst package films.
I'm not surprised.
And doesn't even have, like, the historical interestingness of, like, Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros.
Yeah, because
which are arguably, like, quote-unquote worse just because they're older. But they're more interesting. Yeah, they're still way more interesting than this.
Like, from any aspect.
This is, like, probably my least favorite Disney film of all time.
Oh, wow.
Probably. If not, it is right up there, and only a couple of other movies even come close.
Wow, and I know there's a couple of real stinkers that come out later. So this is low praise.
I can't find hardly anything to praise about the film, and the few interesting tidbits I have about it, it's like, oh, really? No. I mean, there's nothing interesting to talk about. Like,
There's nothing in this film. Well, okay, we should go over what this movie actually is.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, it starts off with an incredibly happy, Jiminy Cricket, that's his name. A way too happy Jiminy Cricket, just going around.
I want to wait before you continue. I want to say that the directing animators for this movie, I don't think this is all their fault, but I think this is the first time this group of people have been directing animators, like, as a group. And there's a few key people that are missing that I did not see in the credits. Therefore, I think they didn't have that much of a hand in this film. And I think it shows because of that. And the directing animators on this film are Ward Kimball, John Lansbury, Fred Moore, Les Clark, and
Wooly
Reitherman.
Okay.
I love their work, of course. I love all the 9 Old Men. But man, this group of guys together
did not work well.
As the supervisors, I think was a huge detriment.
It didn't make this movie better.
Because, you know who were notably missing from the credits?
Frank and Ollie Johnston, Milt Kahl.
Frank Thomas, Ollie Johnston. Frank and Ollie.
Yeah,
and Milt Kahl especially when you look at the animation in this one. It's just like, man, was any of this run by Milt? Because it doesn't look like it. Because I can imagine if Milt had...
He would have torn this stuff apart.
Yeah, it's like, literally, there's some animated segments in there that it's like, if Milt had any
glance at this.
control over this, he would have, like, ripped the shit in half, because it looks pretty bad.
It's overly floaty, way too cartoonishly exaggerated. They needed Milk to look at...
There's no beats. Like, everything's just happening at once, and the animation makes no goddamn sense.
The plots of these make no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Specifically the first one. This movie only has 2 shorts. Mm-hmm. Shorts is probably the wrong word then. 2 40-minute, terribly long things. Mm-hmm. Oh. I don't even know how long this movie actually is, but it felt like it was 5 hours.
It's so long.
So yeah, Jiminy Cricket comes out and is singing about how everything is great and you shouldn't worry about anything and just be a happy-go-lucky nothing person.
Even if you have problems, you should smile and laugh at them. Which, like, that's a Disney motto that comes up a lot, but it's done so much better.
Yeah, this is a very ham-handed, like, no, don't worry at all, ever, for any reason, only be a stupid smiling idiot the whole time, and everything will be great. It's just gonna be great, and fine, and happy, and good, and joyful, and no.
Stop, please.
This is so against my
personal feelings.
My personal feelings
being.
on as what you should be as a human being, that I am very unhappy with this film.
This is so off my aesthetic.
It's like, I'm fine with joy, but this is unapologetically not even pretending to worry about anything.
This is sugar. It's all sugar, no substance.
Oh, it is terrible.
And not even good sugar. It's like It's like a Tootsie Roll or something, you know? Something that if someone gives it to you, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll eat it, but...
I could kind of like Tootsie Rolls.
Okay, candy corn. Something I don't even like.
Yeah, just like the worst overly sweet piece of hard candy that you're never, ever gonna eat. Because it's just sweet with no flavor.
Anyway, this analogy is going on way too long. Jiminy starts this stupid thing, and he finds a doll and a bear that are both sad. It's like stuffed toy bear, they're sad. And so he finds a record of the story of Bongo, and then the short of Bongo plays.
And Bongo is boring.
And of course, both of these shorts have to be narrated, because we can't just let the story play itself. The story has to be narrated.
I think that's probably the biggest issue
with both of these.
With both of these. Not just both of these, but pretty much every single package films is the fact that every single thing is narrated. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Every once in a while, it's charming. Sometimes it works for the things, but for both of these, the narration gets in the way of visual comedy jokes.
Every single time.
And just plain old being able to tell a story through body language, which animation can do very well.
It's animation. It's called show, don't tell. Stop telling every single thing that happens.
Because in both of these shorts, then if you took out the narration, it would read just as well. Mm-hmm. So it adds nothing.
Every now and again, you can have like a tiny bit of narration as like establishment information at the very beginning of the short, and then just let it go.
Mm-hmm. And if they aren't being narrated, they're singing.
Yeah.
And they're singing these lukewarm nothing songs. The only song that I think is decent, and I regret saying this already.
I know which song you're gonna say.
Is the bear slapping song.
And that has terrible connotations.
It's awful, but it's so bizarre that it's just like, I guess I kind of like this. It's different. It's so bizarre.
It's definitely a weird, bizarre song, but it's a song about, hey, it's okay to be in a terrible, abusive relationship. Because that's how some people show love. No, if you're in a relationship like that, get out. I'm sorry, that's the only way I can read that.
Summarize Bongo for me, please.
Okay.
I'll stop interrupting you.
Bongo's a dumb circus bear. He gets out into the wild. He's like, this is great because country living is great. And then he's like, oh wait, country living sucks. Oh wait, there's a beautiful, beautiful girl bear. Oh no, she hit me. I don't know what this means because I'm a stupid idiot. Oh wait, that means love? Well, I better get back in there and beat up this other big burly bear to show her my love. And that's it.
And it takes 40 minutes to tell this story.
This could have been done in 15.
Or 10. I mean, there's so much.
Just like a regular Disney 15-minute short would have covered this perfectly.
Especially with how little the characters develop and...
Or do anything.
Yeah.
You could have cut out like 3 of these songs. Mm-hmm. And it would have helped the timing and pacing of this entire short. There's just so many nothing gags that happen in this.
And there's setups that never have payoffs. Like, all the time. There's animated bits where it's like, we set up a joke. We set up the joke again. And then it never happens.
No, Tennille, you missed it at the very end. They fell off a cliff.
No, that does not count.
It was a completely different cliff. It doesn't count, I know. If that was their payoff for him almost falling off a cliff twice in a row, almost immediately, at the end of the short when they fall off a cliff, it makes no sense because it's a completely different cliff with different context. Needless to say, this one sucks. A lot.
There was one moment where I'm like, that was the first cute bit of animation. And I'll make sure that plays right here. Here you go. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. It's like they're moving around in a circle.
And slowing down.
And
you
like,
can
she goes
see
out
their
and hugs him.
emotions,
Yeah,
like changes, like she's
there's
very unsure about it.
Character
and then she grows to like it.
On. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually works very well.
The rest
Nothing
of this,
else
though,
does.
all needed to be workshopped. It was...
The stupid floating through the clouds, love, bullshit.
It goes on for so long, and it just, like, it has the same beats over and over and over again.
There's
like,
no
just
difference
like, bump,
in any of
bump,
it.
Bump, bump, Yeah, it, like, never varies.
It's the exact same thing every single time. They're wandering wrong, and then the little cherub things mess it up. And then they move along, and the cherubs mess it up. And then they move along, and the cherubs mess it up. That's this whole song. It's bad.
Which is why I appreciate when it gets to the bear says something with a slap, bump, bump. Because it's different. It's got a different beat. It's got a different rhythm to it.
And it's not sung by the same person that's narrating the rest of the short.
Right. But even then, if you just take that segment out by itself and showed it to someone, they'd be like, what the fuck are you showing me?
Good question. Good question.
And you go, this isn't a Disney movie. And they'll say, what?
This is a legitimate Disney... You totally peeked the mic there.
I don't care.
Oh, God. Just...
Breathe.
I wanted to watch Tintin.
I did too.
I wanted to watch a stop-motion Tintin film.
We would have had to watch this
Belgium.
eventually.
I know, but...
And hopefully we'll get to watch Tintin in the future. But...
I've been enjoying all of the foreign films we've been watching.
Yeah.
All of them, even if they're bad, they're just so interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm sick to death of these...
Package films?
Disney package films. I know we're like only halfway through this review, but I'm having a breakdown here.
We haven't even gotten to the worst part.
No. And it's the only part of this entire movie I remembered.
Yeah.
As the movie started up.
Because I put the DVD in, and Sean's like, I don't know if I've ever watched this one. And I'm like, you have.
And then the DVD menu popped up, and we're like, oh no. Because you know what comes next? Live action puppets. Like ventriloquism.
The shittiest ventriloquist ever to be filmed.
Ever.
And theatrically shown.
You know that this guy was obviously some relatively well-known actor at the time.
Oh, they have to be, because they make a joke earlier on in the movie where they're like, oh, this guy, never heard of him before.
Yeah, and I'm like... And he's just doing really shitty ventriloquism.
Yeah.
And this is for a birthday party for a little girl that lives across
one girl!
Okay, this, just... One girl who lives across the street, a child, is having a birthday party thrown for her by a middle-aged man by himself.
With his puppets.
With his creepy ventriloquism puppets. And they're all alone. This is it.
It's only them. There's no other kids around. There's no other adults around.
And it's just them. And at one point he makes a joke about giving her an adult drink.
Yeah.
It's not okay. This whole scene
And his puppets keep making, like, weird, like, jokes during the middle. Like, oh, well, she can be in my dreams or something like that.
Oh. Let's go to Happy Valley. Can you imagine it? This whole short segment here is so wrong.
It's so uncomfortable. It probably wasn't that uncomfortable when this first released, obviously. Otherwise, Disney wouldn't have made it.
You know what comes up in general society in, like, the next... I'm not sure for sure, but I would say the next 10 to 20 years, you know what, like, the big issue was in America? Stranger danger.
That's more like the 80s.
No, that was definitely like a 60s, 70s thing.
Okay, I guess I'm just thinking of, like, PSAs on TV and stuff about that.
But normal stranger danger, that was a thing that really came up in the 60s and 70s.
Uh-huh.
It's like, this is not okay.
This is just uncomfortable to watch.
I don't want to watch this. I know it's all fine because it's on a set in Disneyland or whatever, but just,
yeah,
the connotations.
It's just as soon as it opens and you see, like, who's there, who's not there, you're just like, oh.
I have horrible questions.
Oh, why?
So, anyways.
He tells her a story about Happy Valley, and...
It's the Beanstalks.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk, except
Mickey and the Beanstalk. And
Mickey,
okay,
Donald,
I actually have some interesting tidbits about this one.
Okay.
So this is, I think, the first short Walt couldn't do Mickey's voice.
Oh, okay.
You know, his voice has gotten strained already enough by the chain smoking. He could not do Mickey's voice anymore. And some of the lines are still him. And some of them are done by the new guy. I don't remember his name right now. I'll try and put it up. So it's actually a mix of Walt and the new guy.
How interesting.
And this short was actually supposed to be a full-length movie.
Oh, okay.
Because Walt really, really, really wanted to try to get Mickey back into the popular consciousness. He was really upset that Mickey had faded away the way he had. And so this was supposed to be like a...
Stupid Donald.
Right, and you can kind of see the fight between camera time between Donald and Mickey, which I find hilarious because obviously Goofy is the best part about this short.
Yeah. And he's horribly underused.
I know, but everything he does is so funny.
Oh, Goofy needs more of his own stuff again.
Uh-huh. I mean, luckily, he does get quite a resurgence. Like, Goofy comes in waves, and he never gets too popular, you know, but
he gets the correct amount of love.
Right, it's like he gets more popular in shorts and stuff in the 50s, but he's not really Goofy. He's just kind of like everyman. And then he, like, dies and goes away again until, like, the late 80s.
And then he comes back full force again.
Yeah, full force to the late 80s and 90s. And then he goes away again.
So, are you saying that he'll be back in, like, 10, 20 years?
I don't know, it all depends.
Come back now. Come back now, Goofy.
We need you.
Help us, Goofy, Goof Troop Man. You're our only hope.
I mean, I do like the, is it Spencer Warren? I think that's his name. The Spencer Warren Mickey Mouse shorts. But it's a very different Goofy.
Oh, okay, you mean like the ones that are going on right now?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yes, that's a very enjoyable Goofy, but it is a very different Goofy.
It's a very different Goofy because it's kind of going all the way back to, like, original Goofy, but it's also, like, adapting a lot of the, like, humor in today's shorts, and he's kind of like the gross out character.
Mm-hmm.
But it works most of the time for me.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Anyway, not to make this all about Goofy.
But yeah, this is the, like, this short without the narration
is fine.
Is perfectly fine.
It's quite enjoyable even.
Yeah.
Like, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are all, they're doing good. They're doing good. Willie the Giant is pretty enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
He's not...
Nothing special, but...
Yeah, he's not great.
But he's serviceable, and...
Yeah, he's got a few funny lines.
He's not obnoxious or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his character design is fine.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that the harp that they're all fighting over gets a little wonky-eyed in a couple of scenes. Her eyes are just like, you're not looking at the same direction.
I mean, that's probably more of a problem in the ink and paint department than the animators themselves. I'm guessing Fred Moore was probably the supervising animator on her.
Okay.
Because that just makes sense. Because Fred Moore and those ladies.
He's reliable with the ladies. Anyways.
And I like the songs more in the second one. They're not particularly memorable, but they're not...
Fee-fi-fo fun. Fi-fo-fee-fee. Yeah, no, they're not terribly great.
I like the song the harp is singing to put the giant to sleep, and then she's like, in his right pocket.
Yeah, that's a good touch.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like she was played by the same lady that narrated the entire first short about Bongo and sang all those songs.
She might be, but I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Because I think they introduced her, like, I think they gave a name before that short started.
Oh, did they?
It was, like, very briefly.
Okay.
And I feel like it was somebody else. But I could be wrong. I'm not as... I could tell you all you wanted to know about the animators and such, but I have a harder time remembering the actors and things like that.
Okay. Well, we'll put it on screen who did both of those parts right here.
Yeah.
So, who knows? It might be the same person, might be different.
Clear up any confusion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like the Mickey short has decent animation. I do also love the gag with... I love the whole segment of Mickey slicing the bread and the single bean.
Yeah.
And, like, giving the piece of bread to Donald and Goofy, and it just, like, floats down.
Yeah, that scene is very memorable. I really enjoy that one.
And Donald going
nuts.
Nuts.
Nuts over some...
Giving Mickey the eye as he gets an axe, and then it cuts to him trying to cut open the cow, and it's like, that's nice.
It's like, yeah, he's totally gonna kill his friends. Oh, no, he's going after the cow.
He's going after the cow.
Honestly, they should have just butchered the cow.
Well, the idea is that what they needed to bring up for it to make any sense is like, well, if you kill the cow, then the cow is dead. Like, yeah, sure, you get one good meal out of it, maybe two, but now your cow is gone. You
have no way to replicate that food source.
Right. But they never bring that up. So
no,
instead it's just they can't kill the cow because she's their best friend.
It's like, no, she's
not.
So
instead we'll sell the cow. Because that's better. It's better to sell your best friend, kids, rather than eat them. Just remember that. Although now that I say that out loud,
It's probably still true.
It's probably still true, but don't sell your best friends either.
Probably don't do either of them.
Yeah. Even if you're really, really hungry.
Yeah, okay, we're getting to some weird territory here. Let's move on. So the reason that this short is unbearable is because the stupid people keep talking and it keeps cutting back to the live action crap.
Yeah.
Constantly. And the dude is constantly narrating, and then his puppets will chime in with creepy lines like, "She can be my dream," or something. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's bad.
Oh, and they start off the whole segment where he's doing the hand puppet thing.
Yeah.
And it's really weird looking.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It's
like, that's the creepiest puppet.
Well, yeah, it's a hand puppet. Those, like, literal hand puppet.
But it doesn't have to be creepy, but it makes it even creepier because he's trying to, like, come onto his hand.
And he's like, I'm gonna kiss you.
He's like, I'm gonna kiss you, hand. And she's like, no!
And dies.
Then she dies.
Essentially. It's like,
that's how the segment starts.
I hate this man. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's done in his acting career or whatever.
But this has got to be a low. At least I hope for him this was a low.
Yeah, I can't imagine it was worse than this. I hate this section.
Which is sad because, like, the actual Mickey and the Beanstalk short is fine.
Yeah.
So it all just chalks up to this movie being not good.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste your time until you're a big old Disney fan and you just gotta see it all.
Yeah, it's like, seriously, skip this film. Mm-hmm. If you want, go find the Mickey short. I'm pretty sure they've edited out all the live action bullcrap and I think they have a version of this short where it's just the short.
Yeah, where
go
he's
watch
not
that.
in it.
Just go watch that.
I think so. Or watch The Brave Little Tailor, because The Brave Little Tailor's
honestly
way better.
Yes, because The Brave Little Tailor is Mickey against a giant again. Mm-hmm. Except I think that one came out significantly earlier than this.
I think so. I think it came out early 40s. We'll be watching it during the shorts recap.
Yeah, but either way, that short is great. It's amazing. I love it. It's snappy. It's to the point. And he kills 7 in one blow, guys. Seriously. 7 in one blow. Anyways, besides the fact that we're making references that no one is going to get unless they've seen that short,
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend seeing this film.
No, because there's no growth in animation. They reuse animation a lot in this short.
Oh yeah, and like they just use the same designs they've used a billion times before.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. Like there's some background crow characters that show up, and you're like, those are just like slightly altered designs of the crows.
For the Dumbo crows.
Yeah.
There's a bull and cow that show up that are the exact same bull and cow they use in every short.
Ferdinand.
Yeah.
In Ferdinand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's even some sheep that show up that
I'm sure they've used before.
May or may not have been used before. I think they have.
I'm sure they've used
If they
them before.
weren't used before, they're used after.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and I mean, even things like Jiminy Cricket coming back. It's like, Jiminy doesn't need to be in this.
No.
But yet here he is, and he's just a washed up version of his former self.
He's like, he's still got some of his weird lecherous bits to him, but
not
very
really.
Slight. Like,
it's so weird because Jiminy comes from Pinocchio, and Pinocchio's arguably one of those darker films.
Yeah.
And yet here he is in such a nothing, bright, cheery movie.
Well, the thing,
with no bite to it at all.
I mean, that's all we have now for Jiminy.
Yeah.
This is all he is now.
Yeah.
Like, as he progresses in throughout all of media that Jiminy Cricket shows up in, he's just continuously getting more and more
Mickey Mouseified.
Yeah, Goody Two Shoes character.
I mean, and it's so weird they couldn't see the writing on the wall for that since it's already happened with Mickey.
Yeah,
it's like, guys, You already did this with Mickey and completely sabotaged any future he had. Why would you do this to Jiminy?
Because they're not good at seeing forward past that.
Well, and I think they even wanted to try to prevent that from happening by having Ward come back and be the directing animator on this, but
Something happened, the writing, and they had him sing these terrible songs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's
wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. All right, so what movie are we watching next? Probably.
Yeah, probably. Well, technically next there's a movie called The Czech Year. Like Czech, like Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
But I've looked and I can't find it anywhere, so
probably not.
Probably not going to be that unless some miracle happens. So brace yourself.
No.
We have another package film.
No.
Melody time.
No. Wait. I don't know if I've ever seen this one.
I have. I don't remember a thing about it right now. So
that's a great sign.
That's a brilliant sign. It's just 2 more, hun. We can get through this. Help.
Every deer and every dove has a way of making love, but a bear likes to say it with a slap. You can ask any bear, oh, there's nothing to compare with a love that's strong or weak. If you're ready for romance and you ever get the chance, grab your girl, give her your cheek. So when love comes along, don't be silly. Never ever waste your time, like I said. Let the others hug and kiss, but the bear thinks of this, and the bear likes to say it with a slap. Slap.